Hello SoloMD family, and welcome back to our part 2 of the chart series on mypower24. Just a quick reminder, if you guys haven't seen part number 1, please go have a look at that before you continue with part number 2. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so as you guys can see, we've got a graph and we've got some powers applied to it. So we're going to run through the tools section of the menu over here, of the settings. So the first things first is transfer config. Now, in part 1, we've changed a couple of settings. We've changed the colors. We've made sure that some of the values display differently. We've changed a bit of the opacity. We've just basically done some customizable settings on the chart. And let's say I move over to an energy chart or a live chart, and I actually want all those settings that we applied to this chart to appear on that chart. And that's exactly what transfer config does. As you can see, once I click on it, you can transfer your settings to your energy chart or your live chart. All right. And then next up, we've got user logger specific settings. Now, this only applies to people that have more than one logger. So if you've got more than one logger and you are applying settings to your chart, these settings will be applied to all your charts on all your loggers if this is disabled. If you want to apply settings to a specific logger, then you have to adopt the logger, and then once you adopted the logger, then you can click over here and it will activate this. This means that user logger specific settings, so all settings done on this chart, will be applied to the logger that you're adopted to. All right, not to any other loggers. But as I said, this only applies to people that have more than one logger. All right, and here we've got create new settings template. And this is a really handy tool if you are changing settings quite constantly. So let's say all the settings we've changed already, like I said, the colors, the opacity, the line colors, all that fancy jazz. And we want to save that as a template. So what I mean by that is if you save all those settings and you navigate to a different chart, you can actually use that template again. So you can create as many templates as you want. You can create 4 or 5 of them, and you can just jump through them, and that will be all the settings applied to your chart in that template. So very handy tool as well. Then we've got copy template to user. Now, if you've got a couple of users, so if you're an installer and you've got a couple of users and all the settings that you've applied to your chart, you want to copy them to a specific user, that you'll do over here. So really nice tools to have, really nice to know about these tools because it will add value in monitoring with your charts. All right, so now we're just going to navigate to general tab here at the top left corner, and we're just going to run through some of the zoom functions. And most people just think, okay, well, zooming, you zoom in and out like that, but we've actually added some really nice features into the graph regarding zooming. So as you can see on the cursor there, it's on zoom X at the moment, and as you click and drag, it zooms into that section that you've clicked and dragged. And just by clicking over there, you can zoom out. And the same with Y. So once you click from top to bottom, it zooms into that section over there. And you can obviously select X and Y as well. So now it actually zooms into the X axis and the Y axis. Fantastic. This is actually one of my most favorite features, is the select zoom function. So I'm just going to click on select X, and I actually want the graph to display everything like it is here, but I want to zoom on a specific thing and I want that values printed out somewhere, and this is basically exactly what it does. So I'm going to click and drag there, and once I let go of my mouse, you can see at the bottom you've got some beautiful cards of all the powers that's applied to your chart, and just the selected zoom over here has been printed out here in the bottom. I really like this zoom function because I like seeing what's going on the other side where I haven't zoomed, and as you can see in the chart, you can see that, and then you can see the values that you've zoomed in here at the bottom. Really fantastic feature. All right, so now we've got the horizontal zoom, and horizontal zoom is also a very nice function at the moment. So what you can do is you can have a simple scroll, which is what we currently have now, and once we go into that, it simply scrolls into where you are there. And if we select scroll with chart, we've got another chart that's been added on top of this chart itself, and this is the time where it actually shows you visually the time and dates and stuff. And as you click and drag, this is a quick way to indicate where you want to go to. I want to go to December the 28th, and I just click and drag to the December 28th. Then it will basically run from the December 27th to the 28th. Very, very nice feature to quickly identify where you want to zoom into. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for part 3.